Good morning, Pastor John Davis of the Amityville Community Church. Let's look to the Lord in prayer. Father God, we do want to thank you for this day. We thank you for your kindness, your love, and your mercy. You're a great God, and we thank you for the good things, the enjoyable things in our life, and we're going to ask you now to bless our time in this particular session in Jesus' name, amen. Well, good morning. I'd like to let you know that you could see I prayed a little differently. I said in this session. I didn't really say in the word. We're going to start off with a Bible verse. And I just want to let you know, if you looked at the thumbnail, you may wonder what is coming. You could see I'm a little bit chuckling already. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 4, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. So what I'm going to do now is I'm hoping to make you laugh. I don't want to make it more than it is. It's not a big theological truth. It is just my perspective on certain, I guess for lack of a better term, social media forms of communication. So something interesting happened the other day. First of all, I would like to tell you, I have a good friend in my life, and I refer to them as my social media expert. If anyone knows Pastor John, it was very difficult for me to get off the flip phone. It was hard. I just know that these particular gadgets, devices, there's just a way to lure us in to more addictive behavior. You get this phone, and now you could see people spend hours Googling, hours scrolling up and down. Yes. And I have even started to look up information, which is really, in one sense, meaningless. It's not going to change my life. Who was the first person to do this? Who's this? Anyway, you understand what I'm saying. So I bring this up because, interesting enough, something happened the other day. Now, it came to my attention more the other day. So I'll give you a hypothetical. You send out a text to people. You say, "Good morning. How are you doing today? Hope you're having a nice day." And they reply, "Light. Hey, how you doing? Hope you're having a good day." So I used to get that, and I really did not know what it meant. I really did not know. You know, because on the YouTube video, they'll either like it or don't like it. So my social media expert friend informed me that when they say they liked, they appreciate what you said to them. And if they say loved, they really appreciate it. So I thought that was interesting because, you know, if somebody says good morning to me, I will really text them back and say, "Good morning, how are you?" I have not really become accustomed to the liked and loved. And I tend to spell out words. I am somewhat concerned about spelling correctly. I don't use a lot of emojis. I just find words to be more helpful. But you might find this interesting because I started thinking about the liked and loved. And in our social media world, I started to wonder, when people put liked and loved, because, you know, we're in a very hurried society, are people reading what they put liked and loved to? Right. So I say this to say because, you know, I can only imagine. I text someone and they're in a hurry. "Hey, just want to let you know, had a car accident and broke my leg." And you get back, "Liked. Hey, just want to let you know, I had a car accident and I broke my leg." I said, this is interesting because I don't really think people are taking time to always read what they're liking or loving. You write, "Hey, want to let you know, went to McDonald's, had 2 hours of food poisoning, was vomiting all night long." You get back, "Loved. Hey, went to McDonald's, had food poisoning, vomiting all night long." So you realize that this liked and loved, I thought about this. I said, this could be quite interesting because no doubt we have become so reflex oriented in putting this forward. I thought that, man, I said, I can think of all the ways that this like the love can be hit and typed so fast without people reading the text, especially if the text looks somewhat detailed. And I don't mean to offend anyone, but I fear that in our hurriedness, we're not really reading and thinking about how to respond to people meaningfully. For example, just want to let you know, my son was riding the bike. He hit a rough bump, fell down, busted his head wide open. And you get back, loved. Hey, just want to let you know, my son was riding his bike, hit a rough bump, busted his head wide open. Now, you realize that when you get this, it's kind of interesting. Because, yeah, I mean, are they appreciating that they're letting you know that you inform them? Or are they telling you, man, I love the fact that your son busted his head wide open on the bike? Now, again, you may say Pastor John is making more of this. But I want to tell you, it's become humorous. Because I received the liked and loved. There are times when I realize that it's appropriate. Some of you, when I send out the YouTube video, you put liked. So I don't know if you've watched it or not, but you've put liked. I appreciate that you didn't put disliked or hated, so I'm glad for that. But I thought, isn't this interesting that in our society, we're kind of drifting with our communication to the place that we just want to almost get rid of the text. So we just put liked or loved without even responding in a thoughtful, meaningful way. And I thought you said, you think of the things that people may communicate with another individual. Sorry. Now, if you start with the word sorry, no doubt they're going to let you know. But I thought to myself, man, imagine if you just start with more neutral words and make a couple of sentences where the people don't want to really take time. So if you say bad news, somebody's going to stop to read it. But if you start off, hey, just want to let you know, by that time, you've already lost many people. Many people don't want to even go that far in reading. Hey, just want to let you know that there was a gas explosion in my house and my house burned down to the ground. And you get back, loved. Hey, just want to let you know that there was a gas explosion in my house and my house burnt down to the ground. Right. So I'm not making light of these events. And that's why I didn't want to, I don't want to offend anybody, but I do want us to at least take a moment. Maybe we can start to come back and just say, is it too long to take 3 seconds to read? And what are most people really doing? Don't get me wrong. Brain surgeon, neurosurgeon, heart surgeon, I get it. Most people don't want to read the text because they're texting. Most people don't want to read the text because they're Googling something. And I thought you can really start to mess with people if you just word the first few sentences a certain way that you almost know they're not going to read the whole text. Let's say you want to break some bad news to people. Well, don't put the word bad news in there. Hey, just want to let you know, the other day, again, you word it that way, you've lost them. Hey, and especially hey. Hey is such a neutral word. So if and it may even be slightly misleading. Hey, just want to let you know, the other day, fell down a flight of stairs, broke my arm and my leg. And what do you get back? Loved. Hey, just the other day, fell down a flight of stairs, broke my arm and broke my leg. So this is just a little comical relief for the moment. If you don't find it funny, then you don't have to pass it on. But there's so many different social media phenomenons that you just realize. I'll tell you another one. I haven't now. If you know Pastor John, he likes to eat. I like food. Again, not meaning to offend anybody, but it's been striking me interesting that there are people who take pictures of food. Now, don't get me wrong. I could understand if this is the largest lobster in the world. You know, you have on your table a 45-pound lobster. But when you take a picture of a lobster and you send it to me, I'm just curious. Why are you sending me a picture of a lobster? Do you think that, Pastor John, he's really not so bright? He doesn't really know what crustaceans look like, so I'm going to send him a lobster. You may fear that I was in the educational system, but I really don't know what a lobster looks like, so maybe you felt, let me show you a lobster. Now, don't get me wrong. If it's a lobster and he's moving and he's doing something humorous, but the fact that you're at a restaurant and there's a lobster on the plate, I appreciate you sharing it, but I'm just letting you know it's humorous to me. No, and hopefully I'm not offending some of you, but you realize that people take pictures of the food they're eating, and you say, why? Now, why exactly are you showing me the stack of pancakes? Is it to make me envious? Now, if I was in a foreign land, I could almost understand it a little better. But being that where I am, there are 12 diners, Denny's, IHOPs. When you send me a picture of a stack of pancakes, I guess it's your way, and I understand what people are saying. We're sharing life. But notice, we won't even write, hey, I'm out at breakfast, just thinking of you, want to let you know I'm having a good time. No, we just send the pancakes. So like I said, if you know me, if you send me a picture of food, I'm probably already aware there's not many foods I'm unfamiliar with, at least in our American cuisine. I can't say the same about other parts of the world. But I'm just finding it interesting that this social media life, another one that I'm just starting to grasp, is the delay text. I'll call it the delay text. This, I'm going to say, is, and I can't even say the younger generation anymore, because there are people who are of my age group, I'm 57, I put that out there, that I see are doing this now. So if you texted me, I might not have my phone right away, but I'm thinking within that day, within a few hours, I may get back with the text. Well, you could send a text to someone, and I'm learning this. I'm really learning this. And they will send you a text, but it may be 2 days later. And that's interesting, because you may have sent a text on Monday. Want to know, are you free to go hang out this Saturday? How about 4 o'clock for lunch? Now, you don't get a text Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday, you get a text, and it's one of those general texts. Saturday's no good. Well, you have really forgotten that you sent out that text Monday unless you have the thread right in front of you. So when you get that, you sit there now, did I promise somebody I was going to do something? Did I tell Joe I was coming to help him move? What exactly is happening here? So you get this text, and I'm learning this, that I'll get a text 2, 3, 4 days later about a question, about a statement, about a situation. And I'm learning to be more aware that this text is actually referring to something that I had texted myself. And it might not have been something, because if I don't hear about Saturday at 4 within a couple of days, I'm just thinking, okay, it wasn't good for the person. Because you can, in our society, you can get a text, yeah, we're on for Saturday at 4, but you're getting that text Friday afternoon, and you've told them on Monday. So this is just some of the humorous things that I have found. Again, this idea of light and love is where it really began, because, as I said, that when you see that, I just thought you can get things and you can get texts where people are really expressing heartfelt, hey, and I mean this, I'm sorry to hear that your loved one passed. Want to let you know you're in our prayers. And when I saw a text like that, that's what provoked me to ask, because I really wasn't sure what was being said. Loved, heard that your loved one passed, keeping you in our prayers. The first time I read that, that is when I knew I had to investigate what is really taking place here. Just to show you some of my ignorance, and I don't mind using the word ignorance with this, the word hashtag. Well, the word hashtag is a social media phenomenon. You know, there was a time when Pastor John, and I didn't really ask people because it wasn't pressing knowledge, but eventually I did ask one of my coworkers, and I said it like this. I said, why are they using the number sign in front of everything that they say? You would see people walking around with their shirts, the number sign, awesome. And then being more humorous, why does everybody have tic-tac-toe on their shirt? Like, what's up with tic-tac-toe? Because at first, I didn't know, because you see the word awesome. So I'm saying, maybe it's not the number sign. Maybe tic-tac-toe is awesome. Who knows, right? This is what's funny about these. These are the ways you can have miscommunication. Because if you see the number sign, which is now referred to as hashtag, I would dare to say many people don't even know it's the number sign, but I used to see this. But I didn't really think number sign at first, because you would see the number sign and you see beautiful, number sign, gorgeous, number sign, power to the people. Some saying, and you know, I was willing to walk around in my ignorance for some time. I didn't know what it meant. I really didn't know what hashtag meant. Even if that's a real word, hashtag, we know it's a word now. But I kept saying, now, why do they have tic-tac-toe, power to the people? Tic-tac-toe. And I was wondering, like, is something going on with tic-tac-toe? You know, there was a game show in the 70s, tic-tac-toe. Well, anyway, I just say this because, bear with Pastor John. My students used to laugh at me. They used to say, you got the Obama phone. Because I held on to my flip phone. This is 2020. I think I finally had to get off of the flip phone. I want to say maybe 2018. And that was really due to the network forcing me out. I mean, I would literally be staring at my flip phone and it would shut down. And then it would come back on. And then finally, the carrier informed me that because the networks were becoming so much more advanced and, for lack of a better term, high-powered, the phones, the older phones, you know, the flip phones, couldn't really handle the technology. So my phone would be constantly rebooting. It was amazing. I'd be sitting somewhere and I'd see powering down, and then I'd hear powering up. So please bear with Pastor John. I do find some of this humorous. I do find it somewhat interesting, this whole level of human dynamic. I think there are certain avenues and certain deficiencies that we may start to experience as human beings. But for right now, we're on the lighter moment. So if you've been wearing the tic-tac-toe shirts, and that's probably out of date now. You know, I'm way behind the times. So, but anyway, no offense. I just thought it was humorous. And it's my own ignorance. It's my own ignorance. And I'll never forget the day. I forgot the exact shirt, but I was in a phys ed class, and the paraprofessional I was with had on a shirt. And I think it said hashtag Irish. But I didn't know it was hashtag Irish. So I said, now, and I think it was something like that, something in that venue, where I finally said, why are they putting number sign Irish? Because the only two things I knew of was number sign and tic-tac-toe. Why do you have tic-tac-toe Irish? Do Irish people like tic-tac-toe? I didn't know. So anyway, I hope you have a blessed day. Just something on a more lighter note. I guess you may say Pastor John is still under anesthesia from the surgery. His mind is a little bit still delusional. That, let me tell you, my mind being delusional, that doesn't require anesthesia. There are many people who would say, oh, that's been going on ever since we've known him. He's been a little bit tilted one way. Anyway, you folks have a wonderful day. Hope there is a little laughter in this. I don't fancy myself one of the more famous comedians, but I hope I provided just a little laughter to you out of my own personal humor and ignorance. Have a wonderful day in Jesus.